What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel. Excuse me. Now before we get started with today's video, the road to 200 subs has now come to a close, and we're now on the road to 500 subs. Who knows? Maybe we might hit 500 subs by the end of the summer. Only time will tell. But as I have said in previous videos, if this channel does get to 500 subs, I will open up this Korean LOB booster box in its entirety on the channel that I got from my partners at Collector Store. So be sure to check them out. Link and address will be in the description below. By checking them out, not only does it support them, it also supports the channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. On the hopes to potentially pull a Blue Eyes White Dragon, a Dark Magician, a Red Eyes Black Dragon, a piece of Exodia, Monster Reborn, Pot of Greed. The possibilities are out there. However, if this channel gets to 1,000 subs, I will open up this first edition Toon Chaos box in its entirety on the channel that I also got from my partners at Collector Store, on the hopes to potentially pull a collector's rare out of the set, much similar to what I pulled out of my Genesis Impact box that I opened up last year, which is this beautiful Beat Cop from the Underworld. This thing looks absolutely beautiful. Obviously, with all the new dark-based decks that are going to be coming out into the format, including including the new Yubel deck, this card is definitely going to be coming in quite handy. So definitely pick yourself up a few copies off of Troll and Toad or a TCG player. Excuse me, depending on your preference. But as for me, I'm going to be getting my copy graded, but I never really came up with a good opportunity to do so. But with that being said, if you guys want to see these boxes get opened, maybe you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue, maybe you guys want more episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue, deck profiles, card discussions, WWE topic videos, or maybe, just maybe, you guys want some premium live event predictions and results. Well, if you guys want all of that and more, my channel is the place to be. So if you guys are new to the channel, and I know that a lot of you guys are, because more than 80% of you guys are watching the content, but you guys aren't even subscribed. And to top it all off, we got to get more women to watch the content as well. So if you guys are new to the channel and you guys are liking the content, you're watching the content, and you want more of the content, but you guys have not subscribed yet, then make sure you guys do indeed subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, smash that thumbs up button on this video, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all my social media. My ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And I want you guys to post in the comments below answering the question of the day, which is this. I'm on the card as it sits now. What are your guys' predictions for WWE Backlash? Let me know down in the comments below. And for today's video, that is exactly what we are doing today, is Backlash predictions. And honestly, this card is literally is just as stacked as WrestleMania, because WrestleMania, we had some incredible matches, including the main event of night 1 of WrestleMania, which featured Cody Rhodes and Seth freaking Rollins against The Rock and Roman Reigns. And then, of course, night 2's main event, which was under Bloodline rules. Obviously, WrestleMania may have given us answers to a few questions, but it only left us with even more questions along the way. And we are going to kick things off with a very interesting tag team match. And I never would have imagined that this would ever come to pass. But we have Randy Orton and Kevin Owens taking on the Bloodlines, Solo Sikoa, and the MFT Tama Tonga. And here's what's interesting. This will be Tama Tonga's very first match ever in WWE. He'll be making his in-ring debut this Saturday at Backlash, and honestly, this is one match I am super super excited for it because this is actually the first time in a very long while that Randy Orton has injected himself back into the Bloodline story, and with Roman Reigns gone, the question is, who's really pulling the strings in the Bloodline? Is it The Rock? Is it Solo Sikoa? Is it Tama Tonga? Could it even possibly be Roman Reigns? No one knows. That's where the intrigue comes into play, and this is interesting because you've got literally 4 powerhouses going at it. You got Kevin Owens, who is a former Universal Champion, no longer a part of the WWE, thank God. You know, and then of course you've got Randy Orton, who's a 14-time World Champion. Then of course you've got Tama Tonga, who is a former multi-time IWGP Tag Team Champion. And then you got Solo Sikoa, who's a former NXT North American Champion. So altogether, you have the makings of a pretty insane matchup, but it comes down to one question: Can Tama Tonga hang with the big guns? And the big guns, I'm talking about guys like Kevin Owens, guys like Randy Orton, guys like AJ Styles, guys like LA Knight, and guys like Cody Rhodes. Can he hang with the big guns? And the answer is yes. I believe he can, but I don't know if this Saturday is going to be the start of his journey in WWE. I think honestly, in my opinion, it comes down to experience. Who has the experience WWE wise? And the answer is obviously Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. But here's the kicker: Solo Sikoa, there's a reason why he was once known as the Enforcer. It's because he was always the insurance policy. He was always the guy to make sure that the job got done. And as crazy as it sounds, I think we might be in for one hell of a run, as Solo Sikoa is now supposedly the new leader of the Bloodline, the new tribal chief, if you will, of the Bloodline. So my money is on Tonga and Solo Sikoa. I think Tama Tonga and Solo might end up picking up the victory over KO and Randy Orton. Next up, we've got the women's tag team titles on the line, as the Kabuki Warriors of Damage Control will be facing off against Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. Here's the kicker: the draft is now in the books. The Kabuki Warriors, with the rest of Damage Control, are now on Raw. What does that mean? Could that mean that Bianca and Jade might end up winning? Yes, it is very, very possible. But one thing that we also have to be mindful of is the fact that Dakota Kai and Io Sky are potentially going to be at ringside for this matchup, and I don't know. I feel like we could end up seeing the Kabuki Warriors retain the titles. But here's the thing: Bianca Belair has dealt with Damage Control for the latter part of what, 2-3 years now, and I don't know. There's like no way. Excuse me. I apologize, you guys. There's like no way that we won't see Io Sky and Dakota Kai get involved. There's like no shot that we won't see it, because it's going to happen. It's going to happen. But it comes down to one major question: can Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair coexist? Yes, they were able to coexist leading into WrestleMania, but the big problem is that if you guys had seen Jay Cargo on in AEW, which was obviously Cody Rhodes' creation, which I haven't seen it. I don't watch. I know that a lot of people are probably gonna hate me for it, but this is just from what I've seen on social media. But if you guys have followed Jade's career in AEW, then you'll know that she was always the type of person to align herself with people who would follow her. Now she's aligning herself with someone who will walk beside her, if you will. And I don't really know if that will both. I don't know if this will be based on ego, or if it's based just based on their disdain for damage. I don't know. I honestly don't know. All I know is that Bianca and Jade are going to team up, but will Jade Cargill's ego get in the way? That right there is the big question. And honestly, it might, but only time will tell. But honestly, if there is one team that can solve the riddle that is the Kabuki Warriors, it is indeed Bianca and Jade. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe they might. Maybe they won't. But my money is definitely on Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. I feel like I feel like that they will solve the mystery of the Kabuki Warriors and become tag team champions. So it'll be pretty cool to see them if they do win the titles, face off against teams like Ivy Nile and Maxine Dupree, teams like Bailey and Naomi, possibly. There are so many different tag teams on the roster. It'll be interesting, but my money is on Bianca and Jade Cargill. Next up, speaking of Bailey and Naomi, those two women, along with Tiffany Stratton, will face off for the WWE Women's Title. This is interesting because obviously Bailey and Naomi, they've known each other for years. They've teamed up together in the past. They've faced off against each other in the past. So obviously the love and the respect is there. But you have someone like Tiffany Stratton. She's the dark horse in this triple threat. She is the ultimate dark horse in this triple threat. And the question on everyone's mind is because here's the thing. Aside from now, Bailey hasn't been a champion in 5 years. It's been well over 5 years since she's been champion. So the question is, will the champion's ring rust come into play? Is she prepared for this challenge and the challenges that are up ahead? And the answer is yes. Now, I get that a lot of people believe that Bailey isn't going to retain the title at Backlash. I don't see it that way. I think at this stage in Bailey's career, she has a lot to prove. You know, everybody thinks that Tiffany Stratton is the dark horse in this whole thing. Yes, that may be the case, but let's also not forget Bailey's the wild card because it's as I said, she hasn't been a champion in 5 years. It's been 5 years since Bailey has been champion, and now that she's finally a champion again, she has to remind herself of the dangers of being champion, and one of the dangers is having to be in these types of situations, being in triple threat matches, fatal four ways, elimination chamber, hell in a cell, whatever it may be. Those are the dangers that she has to deal with, and this Saturday ends up is obviously a triple threat. So the question is, can Bayley overcome the odds? Yes, I feel like Bayley can overcome all the odds. But when you really think about it, Naomi has not held singles gold in what? It's been 7 years. It's been almost 8 years since. It's been actually a little over 7 years since Naomi has been champion. In fact, the last time she was champion, she was the SmackDown Women's Champion, now turned Women's World title over on Raw, and she held the title up until I think SummerSlam that year in 2017, losing the title to Natalya. And honestly, obviously, yes, she has been back for quite some time, but the ring rust is still there. Yes, she may have competed in TNA, but WWE wise, ring rust definitely is coming into play. But my money is definitely on Bayley. I feel like she has a lot to prove, even though she's been around for quite a while. Championship wise, she still has a lot to prove. I think my money is definitely on the role model. But now we move into the first of the two main events that are going to be taking place at Backlash. This one for the World Heavyweight title between Damian Priest and main event Jey Uso. Yeah, it feels weird to say Damian Priest as the World Heavyweight Champion because for the longest time, literally for 316 days, we have been used to calling Seth freaking Rollins World Heavyweight Champion. But now that Damian Priest has the gold via the Money in the Bank briefcase, he, just like Bayley, has a lot to prove. But he's going up against a seasoned veteran in main event Jey Uso, and honestly, this has the makings of an instant classic. And I feel like Damian Priest has isolated himself away from the rest of the Judgment Day, not because not because of the fact that the Judgment Day has lost their confidence, I guess, if you will. But ever since WrestleMania, when he did cash in Money in the Bank, I feel like Priest has gained a little extra confidence, and he wants to prove that the Judgment Day means absolutely nothing to him. Honestly, I think we might end up seeing the end of the Judgment Day, because this whole Judgment Day story has been going on since WrestleMania in 2022, WrestleMania 38. So, over 2 years, this has been going on. And Damian Priest is world champion. Now, as far as how main event Jey Uso became the number one contender, he won a fatal 4-way or triple threat. I think it was a fatal 4-way. It was him. It was him, Ricochet, Bronson Reed, and Drew McIntyre. And thanks to CM Punk, Jey Uso was able to pin McIntyre to pick up the victory, and now we have this. The crazy thing, when Cody Rhodes brought Jey Uso over to Raw, all the chaos actually surrounded main event Jey Uso, and now Jey has injected himself back into the storyline that is the Judgment Day. And honestly, as crazy as it sounds, and as much of and as big of a fan as I am of main event Jey Uso, just like Bayley, Priest also has a lot to prove. He needs to prove that he can carry the responsibility of being World Heavyweight Champion, just like Seth Rollins did when he became champion last year at Night of Champions. And the question is, can he really do it? Can he retain the title at Backlash? And the answer is yes. If he's able, if he can do it without the Judgment Day, this proves that Damian Priest was right. He doesn't need the Judgment Day. The Judgment Day needs him. And honestly, we might end up seeing a Judgment Day split. We might see the Judgment Day split, and it's all because of the fact that Rhea Ripley is no longer in WWE. With her out of the picture, and with her no longer being Women's World Champion, the Judgment Day is in shambles. And honestly, this matchup could definitely be the start of it, and we might end up seeing Priest retain, or we could see Jey Uso win the title, and Judgment Day splits either way. But as big of a fan as I am of main event Jey Uso, my money is on Damian Priest. I feel like he does have what it takes to be world champion. But as far as whether or not he can actually retain the title is entirely up to him. But I am putting my money on the Archer of Infamy. And speaking of champions, we move into what will be the main event. The American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, defending the undisputed WWE title against AJ Styles, who actually won a sort of like a mini tournament to become number one contender. AJ ended up defeating both Kevin Owens and Rey Mysterio, while LA Knight defeated Santos Escobar and Bobby Lashley. And then, of course, AJ Styles defeated LA Knight to pick up the victory, and we become the number one contender. Here's the thing. Obviously, AJ Styles knew exactly what he did with involving LA Knight, and obviously he owned up to his mistakes, and he admitted that he just didn't like LA Knight. So obviously this proves that we might see AJ Styles become a babyface again at some point, which is possible, but we'll have to wait and see. But here's something that a lot of people don't know. What a lot of people don't know. AJ Styles, now while it is true that AJ Styles has never faced off against Cody Rhodes before, he did, however, wrestle his father, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, from his days from his young days in TNA. And Cody Rhodes, this is his very first TV title defense. The question is this: can Cody Rhodes carry the burden that Roman Reigns carried for almost 4 years? Can he do it? Is Cody Rhodes ready for that spotlight? Honestly, we will have to wait and see, because you've got two fan favorites in this matchup. You've got Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, and of course the phenomenal AJ Styles, two of the absolute best to ever do it. Two of the best to ever lace up a pair of boots. I guess you could say there are a couple of, no pun intended and no disrespect to Gunther, but they are a couple of ring generals and true students of the game. So they know they know the ins and outs of the squared circle. But it comes down to one question, and the question being, is Cody Rhodes ready? Can he carry the burden that Roman Reigns carried when he was champion? And honestly, I think so. I think yes, I think he can, but it just comes down to whether or not he really can, if that makes sense. But honestly, this is something that I don't think I can call, because you got two fan favorites. But if I had to put my money on someone, it would definitely have to be Cody Rhodes. And I feel like AJ Styles, with the fact that his contract with WWE is set to expire at some point later this year, rumor has it that he actually is supposed to sign a new deal with WWE, which will finish up his career in professional wrestling. But let's be real here. I don't think he's gonna finish up. finish his career with WWE. I think he's going to finish his career with AEW, which I think is kind of BS in my opinion. Because if you guys had seen the photos on social media with AEW and their audience, yeah, I think you guys all already know where I'm getting at with this one. But again, there has been rumors that AJ's contract with WWE is set to expire this year, and that he's gonna end it. He's gonna end it, but will he though? Only time will tell. I've already mentioned that in a previous video, so definitely check that out if you haven't already. But my money is definitely on Cody Rhodes. I think he is ready, but he needs to be more fierce, more intense, and more ready, if you will, for the challenges that are up ahead. But my money is definitely on the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. And on that note, you guys, that will do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more premium live event predictions and results in the future, then make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and follow me on all my social media. My ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.